What's up, guys? It is Sam, and today I wanted to give you my prediction to who I think is going to win the Generation Z vote based upon the data at this moment in time. In the future, this could be completely wrong, but if this moment in time, I'll point you in the right direction of where I see things, and if it continues down this trajectory, we'll have our answer. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. Let's get into it. So, first of all, we have to understand Generation Z and kind of like the impact of what Generation Z is and does. And then we need to know where they are, right? Where do these people, Generation Z, right, this just made up generational name, come from in terms of where are these guys going to be coming from in terms of their audience? Where are they? So, we're going to start with Generation Z. There's 90 million in Generation Z, 90 million plus. Millennials and boomers are the next two closest in terms of generational size, and they have like a little bit over 70 million each. And so, if you think about it, they're, I don't know, 30, 40% bigger than, I think it's in the mid 20s, 20% bigger, like 25 to 27% bigger than boomers or millennials as a generation. That's a lot, right? 25 to 30% bigger is a substantial amount. And if you look at the midterm election in 2018 and what's projected according to Pew Research for turnout in the 2020 election, there's supposed to be a giant increase in the participation from Generation Z. And we saw that in 2018, and that's what's getting predicted for 2020. Right? So if you believe that like the shit that's happening today is the most relevant to what's happening tomorrow, right? It's already happening, right? We already had the midterm election where there was a much greater turnout for Generation Z than there was for other ones. This is the midterm in 2 years ago, not the one that just took place. So we know they're important. Well, where do they spend their time? Well, there's an app called TikTok, and they've been growing substantially. They came out in around 2017. I think of it as kind of like Vine put together with like Instagram or something like that, but just better. It's more audio centric. And there's a tremendous amount of Generation Z that spends hours per day on this platform. The saturation rate in terms of adoption for this relatively speaking to other generations on TikTok, they have a much, much higher saturation rate. So there's Generation Z spends a tremendous amount of time on here. So if we understood where they were going on here, who they were paying attention to on here, right, then we could observe their behavior to understand who they would actually like to vote for, right? Because if they're talking about this person on the place where them and all their friends are, and they're saying, hey, Bernie Sanders, hey, this person, hey, that person, right? Then there's a high likelihood that there's a degree of interest there. And you're like, oh, this is not a poll. Cool. Yes, if you look at the last Economist poll, national poll that was reported, there was 1,500 people. I think this is way more accurate. If you look on TikTok, the only presidential candidate that I've found anything related specifically to the campaign or having a profile themselves is Bernie Sanders. And I came across this because I'm doing a TikTok ranking of all of the candidates so we can see the data. But what's interesting is that he's the only candidate who his team is consistently putting out content on TikTok. And if you look at over the last, this actually took a screenshot because you can't log in on the desktop, so you can't see the same data. All you can see is the number of likes on a post, which is one indicator of interest. But this, if you look, is actually the total number of views, right? And you're like, well, he's only got a tiny little bit of views, right? He's got 500 on that one, 2,700, and it's hard to see here. But 2,700 on this one, that one looks to be the highest. Well, the thing about it is, the last 9 posts have been posted in the last day. It doesn't act the same way as other platforms. I'm posting 20 to 30 times a day a lot of the time. And I've got 2 point something million views over the last 28 days. There's a tremendous amount of attention there. And if none of the other candidates decide that they're going to do anything around that, then they're going to become less relevant in the eyes of the most impressionable generation right now, because they're the youngest, and when you're younger you're more impressionable. So if you can get your message out to these people at a younger age, there's a higher likelihood that they're going to actually stay with that messaging, or whatever it is, whether it's Bernie that carries us on forward or some other person who carries that type of messaging he's talking about on. But getting in front of that audience kind of gives you an indicator of where we're going to be going in the future with this giant portion of the population, because nobody else is talking to this generation but Bernie. He's the one who's getting his message out to Generation Z, and I don't see anybody else doing that. And so you're like, oh, well, that's just one piece of it. But what I actually did is some research, and we took a look here at the actual hashtag usage of their name on TikTok, and I stacked ranked them right here. So this is on TikTok. You search for their hashtag, right? Hashtag Pete Buttigieg, hashtag Amy, blah, 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 hashtag Bernie. And these numbers, my friends, are in millions of views associated with that hashtag, right? So when we look at this, Bernie has almost twice as many views as the next closest person, who is Joe Biden. And I didn't see anything here for Joe Biden. When I was searching for, I don't remember actually if I'm pretty sure I searched for the research, but I didn't search for his account. So let's just double check so I don't say something that is inaccurate. Yeah, okay, there's definitely nothing for Joe Biden. You search for Joe Biden and it's just like a bunch of like pictureless emoji accounts or whatever. So way more than that. I don't know why Joe Biden's hashtag is getting used, but the interesting answer that I have for you is going to be coming out in the next video. So make sure you press that subscribe button, and I'm going to explain why there's so many for that. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on TikTok. Everybody thinks it's like some scary thing, right? Because it's fucking China, and it's kind of laughable to me. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. And appreciate you guys watching.